Well, today Rowdy and I are headed out for a little adventure. We're gonna go check out Bull's Gap and Archie Campbell's birthplace and home when he was growing up. And many of you sort of know who Archie Campbell is, especially if you're my age and you ever watched Hee Haw. And we're going to check out the Railroad Museum that they have there. So come along and join us as we go take a little adventure and check out the little town of Bull's Gap. Looks like that we may have an accident out on the interstate because there's never this much traffic, especially with trucks. It's just not a truck route, so I'm pretty sure they must be some kind of a backup on the interstate and people are coming through here in order to miss it. So just a little bit of history about Bull's Gap. It was named after a man named John Bull, an 18th century gunsmith, and he operated a stagecoach. And I'll try to get some more information about it. Years ago, did some work in the town of Bull's Gap. We did some gutter work and stuff on a building there, and did some other work. I just can't remember because I was probably 18 or 19 at the time, and that would have been back in 78, 79. We just crossed into Bull's Gap city limits. Coming up on the only red light in Bull's Gap. If you turn left, you go to Rogersville. If you go straight, you go to Greenville, Tennessee. It's a beautiful day today. 64 degrees for February. That's a little unusual. And coming up here on the left is Archie Campbell's home. Love the old houses here. Magnolia Manor right there. An old caboose. They done away with those. I remember when, I can't remember, somebody very important came through Greenville. I'll have to do some research, see if I can remember who it was. I was just a kid at the time. I don't know if it was a president or a governor or a congressman or somebody come riding, and they were in a caboose. They're very unique. cabooses was used to house and have a place for people working on the railroad to be able to sleep, have a meal, because they kept the train going 24/7. And this was their little house rolling on the rails. Here's Archie Campbell's home. I believe that's called a pie safe. My grandmother had one. When she'd make a pie and stuff, she would put it inside there to keep bugs from getting on it and stuff. And old mason jars. My grandmother used to collect mason jars. Now we're coming into the kitchen. Old wood stoves. And right there's how they would light the house. And you see that thing right there, that's an iron. They would heat that up on the stove or on a wood stove, and that's the way they ironed their clothes. Yeah, my wife would call this a hutch. I don't know, I think she just likes saying that name. And here's something I've used when I was little. My grandmother would churn her own butter, and she would give me the job of working that thing. And I'm telling you folks, that's a lot of work right there. And they would sing an old song called Churn Butter Churn. And it's an old folks tale that when you sing the song, it helps to turn the butter quicker. So I would have thought this would be in a living room. And I like the old clock. We had clocks like this at my grandmother's. She had a big grandfather clock. I presume that is Archie Campbell's mom and dad. Grandma and Grandpa J.W. Douthit. Here is, I believe that Archie was born in 1914. I'll get the exact dates and put it in there, but of when he was born and when he died. There's the Campbells. Pauline was 4 years old. Archie is 8 years old. Irene's 6. And Harold is 14. So this is going to be Archie. Now, when my grandmother was growing up, my grandfather was born in 1911. My grandmother was born in 1917, I believe. And they had these large bags, and they would stuff hay in it, and it was called a hay tick, and that's what they used as a mattress. And this looks exactly like the phone my grandmother had. We used to open this thing up, and there was a little thing in there. When you turn this, it generates the power. And I remember the first time I did that, and I got shocked. But this one seems to be broke because the cradle don't have two arms on it, just has a single arm. But for you young folks out there, all you've ever known is a cell phone. You would pick this up and you would hold this to your ear and you would speak into that. That was your telephone. So, pretty unique. Yeah, we used to play with that when I was growing up. We loved it. And here's how they would have played music. You would crank this on the side. It would wind up a spring, and then they would put the record on there. And there's the little head that you would put over on. This is for people that's never seen a record before. And if you're a young person, I'm not sure if you'd know or not. Turn this record around so we can see the name on it. The Cowpuncher's Waltz. I'll have to look that up and see if I can find that name. And see if it's on YouTube. If it is, I'll play it.
Hold close to your darling and feel her heart a-tingling as you dance to the strains of the Cowpuncher's Waltz. Keep swinging your partner and get your spurs a-jingling as you dance to the strains of the Cowpuncher's Waltz.
I'm not sure if this is the original rocker or not. I just wonder if it was. Is this one that she used to rock Archie Campbell to sleep in? And these homes didn't have running water. And this is a wash basin. They would fill that up with water and put it in that basin there, and they would wash their face and then throw it out the window. Another bed. Now somebody must have picked this up and they broke it, which is a shame. But you know what? My grandmother had one of those. It was a candy dish. That's Mama and Daddy Campbell right there. That's Archie's mom and dad. And this is, I think it's his grandmother. And this is so bad you can't really read it. I think this is another grandfather. And this, my grandmother had one of these and she was big into sewing. And it's made by Singer. And you would pump that down there on the bottom with your foot, and that's what ran the sewing machine. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, is he stupid? Why is he saying this? Everybody knows this. Not everybody knows that. Just the older folks. And here's, looks like maybe the family Bible. It's in really bad shape, so I'm not gonna open it all the way up. The spine's gone on it. It should be restored. Try to get myself out of the shot. An old chest. And a lot of people called those a trunk. Me and my sister would have hidden one of those when we played hide and seek as we was growing up. And that is the Archie Campbell home.